Howdy, howdy, and welcome to another wonderful trash take. I am making this because Donald J. Trump can't stop winning. And I know that's probably going to get me a lot of hate. I just want to be honest. I'm a libertarian. I honestly didn't think Trump would win the election, but I thought the Democrats put together a dog shit race and they ended up losing. So, makes sense. Last time Trump was in office, back in 2016, he kind of got in office, didn't really know what he was doing, didn't do half what he said he was going to do. So I was like, you know what? He wins again. It's going to be the same old of, oh, I'm Donald Trump. I'm the president. Sit down. You're gay. Like that kind of shit. That's all I expected. Trump has been playing 4D chess, and I have never seen other countries fold to America like exactly doing what he wants before. So it started off last week with a bunch of illegals being deported from America to Colombia. And I'll be honest, all I'm seeing right now is the people that are being deported by ICE are criminals, which are murderers and rapists and like child pedos. Like these are the only three that ICE is talking about that they're deporting. If you don't believe me, go look up the statistics for yourself. Being manually deported is because they had heinous crimes in America. Those are the ones that ICE has tabs on because they're required to register their address. That's how ICE knows where they are. Anyways, off topic. Colombia, originally, he tried to deport a plane full of them, and they turned the plane away at the airport and told them basically go back to America. Within an hour, Trump was like, okay, 25% tariff on your country now, and in 1 week, if you don't accept more of our the illegal aliens that were here, we're going to send you another 25% tariff on that. So basically, Colombia was facing 25% tariff on all of their exports now, and all of their exports to America, and then all of their exports would have been 50% in a week from there. Within an hour, basically by the time I had heard Trump had done this, and people were tweeting out, coffee's gonna go crazy, coffee's gonna be expensive, flowers, we have Valentine's Day around the corner, if they think of the flowers, it was already done. Colombia folded, tariff gone. It's like, okay, maybe the tariff plan works as a good threat. Maybe it works, people are scared, the tariff seems to be working. Then he did it to Mexico and Canada, saying that their borders are unsecure, they're causing deaths, and they're allowing unfiltered drugs into America, which he has statistics to back it up. There's been a lot of drugs coming across the border. Look at border town deaths. They've gone up exponentially under Biden's lack of border, basically. They've been allowing unlimited drug flow into the United States, which has been worrisome. If you're not worried about drugs killing people, I can mean maybe you live in a nice mansion and never have to deal with homeless people, but I am lower class. I have to deal with homeless people and vagrants, and I don't want them methed out of their mind or high on fentanyl doing the fentanyl zombie lane. I genuinely don't want that. Drugs, take away the drugs and people can actually get better. If the drugs are here and easily accessible and dirt cheap, it's only going to get worse. So his plan, which I didn't think was actually going to work, was basically put a tariff on both Canada and Mexico for 25% and tell them to fix the border problem. Mexico caved first. Mexico caved in like a day, I want to say. I think it was about 24 hours or so. And Trudeau had come out on the world stage and basically, he's Justin Trudeau. He's Fidel Castro's bastard. Let's be honest. We all know he's Fidel's Castro bastard. Show us your nipples. Anyways, Trudeau came out on the world stage and was basically just like, you know what? We're going to counter tariff America. Reddit was all up with their flags. We need to boycott American goods. They've been in a National Hockey League game. They start booing America. This is the country that decided to put like terroristic charges on a bunch of 18-wheeler drivers for honking their horns downtown. And then the government illegally seized their funds and held their bank accounts and froze all of their money because they didn't like what they were doing. Completely illegal, completely unconstitutional, which apparently Canada has some form of a constitution. It only took 4 years, basically, for the government to finally admit, oopsie whoopsies, that was an overreach on our part. Sorry for being tyrannical. Don't do anything to us, ooh woo. Basically is what Canada did, because nothing's come of it. Anyways, back to the point. Canada has now folded as well. Both Mexico and Canada have promised 10,000 troops on the border to secure it to help stem the flow of drugs. And I didn't really know Canada had a drug problem coming to in America, but apparently smuggling people and drugs is a common thing. Right now, the main thing is 48 pounds of fentanyl was seized, or some amount of fentanyl. And if you don't know what's crazy about fentanyl, is it takes like grams of this shit to kill you. It takes grams. How many grams are in a pound? Let's do the math. Now, the FDA is estimating that 2 milligrams of fentanyl can be deadly, depending on a person's body size, tolerance, and past usage. But generally, 0.02 to 0.51 is what counterfeit pills have. So basically nothing to a lot of it. So in order to do this math right, to convert it, you have to go from milligrams to grams. So we have to go to a milligram. And then give it a generous number. We'll do 2 milligrams. Take this number, open my calculator real quick, divide by, I'll give it 2.5 per lethal dose. That's 8 million lethal doses of fentanyl. 8 million.
Now, before some of you get in the comments go, actually, that's the max estimated dose, depending on if they are lightweight and they don't have previous drug usage, I genuinely don't care.
The whole point is to show that this shit's deadly and needs to be stopped. That's it. If you're going to try to argue semantics of, well, you can take fentanyl and survive. Yes, there is legal uses for fentanyl to treat chronic pain, but it's like crazy microdoses that are heavily restricted by the government because they're highly addictive. There's a reason why all the crackheads are now basically fentanyl heads, and they're lacing fentanyl and damn near everything. It's highly addictive. It's a crazy drug that's been introduced to our society like every other painkiller and opioid. It's extremely addictive no matter what the government says. So the fact that this stuff is that lethal or can have that much lethality in such a small dosage of it is crazy. And I'm honestly happy that America's finally moving in a decent direction where the drugs being sent into this country are being stemmed. Now, some of you are going to say, oh, think of all the people getting deported. If you're here illegally and you're committing crimes, you need to be gone. If you're here illegally and you're not doing anything, maybe we can talk. But first, let's make sure we can get rid of all the people that are here doing crimes. That's all I care about. Just for the record, I also want to pull up the tweets so y'all can see themselves for what has been said. So the first one is from Justin Trudeau. I just had a good call with the president. With President Trump, Canada is implementing a $1.3 billion border plan, reinforcing the border with new choppers, technology, personnel, enhanced coordination with our American partners, and increasingly resources to stop the flow of fentanyl. Nearly 10,000 frontline personnel are and will be working to protect the border. In addition, Canada is making new commitments to appoint a fentanyl Caesar, who will list cartels as terrorists and ensure 24/7 eyes on the border, launch a Canadian-U.S. Joint Strike Force to combat organized crime, fentanyl, and money laundering. I've also signed a new intelligence directive on organized crime and fentanyl, and we will be backing it with $200 million. Proposed tariffs will be paused for at least 30 days while we work together. That's what Trudeau has said. Trump hasn't said anything about this yet. The only thing Trump has said, besides him tweeting a video of them drone striking the fuck out of some ISIS leaders, which is Trump's back, baby. This is peak Trump right here. Yeah, we bombed some ISIS leaders. Let me just unclassify this and throw it on Twitter real quick. But this is what Trump tweeted 6 hours ago. I just spoke with the President Claudia of Mexico. I'm not reading that last name. I'm Sheinbaum. It was very friendly conversation where she agreed immediately to supply 10,000 Mexican soldiers on the border separating Mexico and the United States. These soldiers will specifically designate to stop the flow of fentanyl and illegal migrants into our country. We further agreed to immediately pause the anticipated tariffs for 1 month during the period which we have negotiations ahead by Secretary of State Mark Rubio, Secretary of Treasury Scott Bissonnette, and Secretary of Commerce Howard Lutnick, and high-level representatives of Mexico. I look forward to participating in those negotiations with President Sheinbaum as we attempt to achieve a deal between our two countries. So this isn't a total like the tariffs are permanently paused. This is pretty much Trump setting the grounds for negotiation because the 25% tariff to me honestly seemed like a pretty high number, but paying a 25% tax, most time corporations being the greedy bastards they are, just put the taxpayers or put the cost of that onto the consumers. So basically consumer goods generally are expected to rise. That's my assumption. Like I said, every time I hear a tariff being introduced, it's not really happened. I know originally Trump put a 10% tariff on imports for some electronics on his first presidency, and then it actually went so well that Biden doubled it during his presidency. And I will mention, this is the original tweet that Trump put out. In the original tweet, he talked about the 25% import tariffs, 10% on Canadian energy, and 10% on China. So he has actually done a tariff on China for the time being. But this was his whole plan. I want to stop a fentanyl. I'm going to tariff you until you guys actually do something about your border. Because if you're unfamiliar, American democracy's basically been, we're so big and threatening, no one will touch us. But our neighbors basically don't do anything because we're like, I don't know, the autistic kid. We're the autistic kids everyone's friends with. That's like 6'8" and 400 pounds because you know at any moment he might snap and rip you in half. They got a lot of teenagers high on caffeine and methanol, and they will absolutely destroy your country. Look at what's happened in the Middle East. You don't think we'll destroy a country? Completely destabilize that entire region. And then on a side note too, if you haven't seen the USAID, DOGE has been digging heavily into where USAID's actually been going and exposing complete corruption across the board. Elon Musk has got full readings to see where U.S. money goes, and a blank book to see how we're spending it, and he has been sorely disappointed. He's been posting all that on Twitter. If you haven't been following him on Twitter, I'd say now's probably the best time. I know politics is stupid, but I'm actually happy to see U.S. taxpayer money being put under a microscope and being viewed to see where it's actually going. Because if the money's getting scammed and slimmed off the top and the senators, which it apparently looks like, have a bunch of charities that are then receiving U.S. aid funds that then have a 99% overhead cost and only 1% is actually going to charity, it basically means the dollar goes away. They're just paying themselves. That's essentially what's happening here. It's not hard to understand. Reddit's also having a meltdown on this. They're making death threats and literally calling for the DOGE employees, the 6 kids that they have that are like 18 to 24, to basically be hung in the street. It's been crazy. Reddit's absolutely on a meltdown yet again because anything involving Elon Musk, they go absolutely feral for now. And now Elon's DOGE team is exposing Democrat and Republican corruption. It's NPCs are their basic programming. I genuinely don't understand how this could be a bad thing. If you think it is a bad thing, please let me know in the comments down below. This is something I'm genuinely interested in. How is it a bad thing to have a man who actually wants to optimize the government and stop corruption come in and see that they're where the money goes and post about it publicly online to show you, hey, this amount went to here, this person is publicly paid for by here, and they're doing this, and this is not allowed. It seems pretty damn clear that it's just funneling money into programs that should have been canned or should no longer exist. This is a Twitter account right now that's been absolutely going hard showing corruption. They're basically just connecting all of the data of where all of the funds are going from to and for. And so he's like connecting the dots on everyone that's tweeting out, oh, this is really bad. And then, oh, I wonder why this senator's tweeting that this is really bad. This is what I was talking about with how senators are coming out and people are coming out saying that the deep state is bad, that what Trump's doing is bad. And then literally this guy, the data Republican, is posting below, hey, look, here's an exact chart that shows you've been receiving funds and how much funds you've received and why you are an asset to the deep state and why you're saying it's bad, because they're literally being paid to say it's bad. It's just straight up fraud. It is hilarious. Which I probably should have showed this, but this guy isn't actually a senator. He's just a organization that's receiving large amounts of money and then also saying it's bad that they're looking into this because he is the person that is directly getting his salary paid by U.S. tax funders to basically promote propaganda for the government, for one side of the government, and it's not the Republicans. So, makes sense. If you honestly think the U.S. aid stuff going on is bad, please give me a coherent reason in the comments down below, because right now all I'm seeing is people go, Elon Musk can't do this, when in fact he can. That's the whole thing. Trump's given him the power to do this, and his team of nerds is absolutely running around the clock doing this, besides the fact that they're, like I said, getting doxxed and death threats. Reddit's feral. Either way, let me know what you guys think about this. Yeah, I just want to make this video because me seeing Donald Trump has done the same chess move now 3 times and has successfully gotten what he wanted. I just thought it was fucking hilarious that Donald Trump is coming out with the same card and playing it, and countries are folding. That was not what I expected. Everyone's been talking about such strong resistance. Trump's bad man. We're going to do everything we can to stop him once he's in power. Now it's like, yes, sir, Donald Trump, sir. We'll do whatever you want, sir. It's absolutely fucking comical. That's politics, though. It's all theatrics at the end of the day. Either way, thank you very much for tuning in. If you like it, let me know. If you think I'm dog shit, if you're from Reddit, you probably think that. I don't care. I'll be honest. Yeah, there's nothing you can't say to me I haven't said to the mirror to myself, buddy. Either way, I'll see you in the next video. Until then, later.